He says Stella has a chair. She's like, this morning, I gave her some Benadryl last night because it started with the rain and it always irritates the arthritis. So she was crying and crying. So I gave her some Benadryl. It really conked her out. She was really conked out. And so, she's really whiny this morning. So I think it's still hurting her. But anyway, she's got the chair. But I had, there was like several things, but this, I'm just going to start with these weird dreams. So I had this really weird dream. One of them was I was at this hotel with, I know one of my daughters was with me, but the other people, I didn't know who they were. But it seemed like we were there talking, or there was a purpose. Like we had some involvement with these people. And Jim Carrey came to this hotel. And he was with some other people. It seemed like he was with a couple of guys. And we kept running into each other constantly. I'd be going out. He'd be coming in. We kept running into each other. But we weren't acknowledging each other. It wasn't like we were saying, hey, how you doing, or anything. And it was really weird. And then I was in the hall. And I was standing with this crowd of people. And somebody in the crowd was talking, telling us, explaining something to us. And so I was leaning on this door. At the time, it seemed like I thought it was a wall or something, but I was leaning on this door, and he opened the door, and I kind of fell back into his room. And then I stood up, and said sorry, and walked out into the hall and just kept listening. And then he came out, and then I think I woke up after that. I don't know. I can't remember it all. But in the back of my head, I kept hearing this song. So I kept going, trying to tune in. I'm like, what is this song? Why is it on repeat in my head? It wasn't familiar enough where I could make it out. So I got up this morning and was like going through songs, trying to find which one it was, because I know which band. But then when I started listening, I was like, oh, is it this one? Is it this one? I don't know. But so I was trying to get what the message was. But this other message was really strange. So it was kind of like when I was waking up, and they started showing me, what is that called? I've been saying it all morning in my head. Those little oven things that kids had. It's not called a Betty Crocker oven. There's a little tiny oven that kids had, and they would play with them, and they make cakes. I never had one, but I went to people's houses who had one. You'd make up a little cake, and you put it in, and this light bulb would cook the cake. So they were showing me this, and I was like, oh, weird. Yeah, the light bulb cooked the cake. So, yeah, the light bulbs. And so then they showed me, remember Trump said about the light bulbs. And when he had said it, that he was bringing back the old light bulbs, he wasn't going to keep with these light bulbs. I was thinking, oh, I think it's because they're so expensive, these LED bulbs and stuff, but they definitely don't heat up. There's no warmth to them. And so you couldn't use them in one of those little ovens. And so now I keep having this stuck in my head of like what it's called, but I don't know. Betty Crocker oven? I can't remember. So those new light bulbs wouldn't heat it up. So I don't know what they were showing me about the light bulb thing. But then, so I kept being like, what are you trying to get me to see about the light bulbs? I'm not really sure, because they wanted me to bring up something about the light bulbs, and I'm not really sure what the thing is. A lot of times they'll show me stuff, and then, it kind of plays out, like I will see more about it. So, but the thing that I would start thinking was, it is weird, because right now, like here where I'm at, they still have us in winter. It's May, and it's still like October. It's weird. It's just so cold, and it will say, like 40 something, 50 something, and it feels like 30 something. So I don't trust the thermometers. I don't trust the calendars. I don't trust the clocks. I think, but the light bulbs, I was thinking, is kind of trippy though, because if we had those light bulbs in our house, it would be making our house warm. Like we'd be using electricity, but it would also be warming our house. So I was like, I don't know, there's something weird to it. There's something weird about it. I'm not really sure, but anyways, they wanted me to see something about these light bulbs and the stuff. And but the other thing I wanted to say, what I was taught, just started, I did want to go on that more. I just wanted to finish, was, well, they keep bringing me stuff after I say something or whatever, they bring me more information about it. And yesterday, it was right after I just said something on here. And then I was looking for something to watch, and I started just some weird random movie that had nobody in it I ever heard of or anything like that. And it was called, here she's on the move. Jack's Apocalypse. It's kind of a strange one. And then, just lay down, okay? I don't want you to knock over my thing. Just gonna get right up here. And so she, in this movie, this guy, he's like a total skeezy guy. And his brother's military, and his brother wants him to take his family and go out into the woods. Something big is about to happen. And he starts telling him, whatever you do, do not drink the water. Do not let anyone in the water. Don't let anyone soak in the water. Don't let anyone bathe in the water. Do not touch the water. The tap water is poison. There's something wrong with the water. And he wanted them to go way out in the forest, out in the woods, and keep away from all the cities. Everybody needed to leave the cities. At some point, it showed like a bomb go off in the distance. So, I don't know. I took it with the water thing. It's weird how it's always like this water thing keeps being brought up. I know there's something weird with our water. And yesterday I saw this woman, and she was posting, see, I've got a bunch of stuff in my thing I got to try and see. Okay, so she was posting, she was posting about the celebrity suicide thing. And she said it's weird because at the same time, this person killed themselves, and I know of another person who did. And she goes, what's weird is I'm wondering when those towers came on because of the suicide thing. And that's what I kept saying. I bet you there's a lot of people who are doing themselves in. Not only does the energy bring in this certain kind of, this certain energy that comes in with this moons and all of this cycles. And we're getting hit really hard because of this transition that's happening. Everything is speeding up. And that was the thing with the calendars and the clocks and stuff, because I think, okay, I need a little bit of room right here. Okay. And I think it's all just meant to keep us trapped in this reality. So I think that the clocks, the calendars, all of that stuff is a way to get our consciousness to focus on these things that keep us tuned in to this reality that they create, their enslavement reality. Because I don't know, there's something weird that is going on. Not just like with the weather machines and stuff. Like I know that's real and stuff, but there's something behind it all that we're being shown. And I think it has something to do with our consciousness and what we perceive and how we create this part of this illusion with time and stuff. Like I said yesterday, like they give us the tools, but we do the rest. And we don't really realize that we're doing it. It's like they just give us the instructions and then we do it with our own consciousness. We are creating these realities that they are giving us. But it all has to do with this school and, soul school. It's not like, it isn't like anything can trick us really, because our higher self already knows. I mean, we're here for this experience, and our higher self is, privy to everything going on. There's not like any tricks. This is kind of like a a scavenger hunt for the avatars, you know? It's like we have our higher selves, and we can tune in, tap into our higher selves, you know, get information. But mine, I mean, other people's could give them, you know, every bit of information that they're looking for. But mine is definitely gives me what I need to know. It doesn't just lay out everything. It doesn't tell me, okay, on this day, this is going to happen. This day, this is going to happen. It just shows me stuff and gives me information. And then I have to do some work on that, like trust. I think trust and faith and patience is huge for my experience. So I think there's something that we create, just like what I was saying yesterday. Somehow we're creating these scenarios when they give us this information. I think that is almost like why we're a joke to them, because we don't question things. We're learning now. I mean, because of this way this is changing. And I think, you know, it's weird because they all know that there's certain things to all this. They understand about this spiritual world and stuff. Okay, we don't need the couch cleaned, okay? Okay, I don't need it be cleaned either. I love you too. I know you don't feel good. I know. And so anyways, if we are creating it, and then all these different scenarios going on too, and all these different, you know, places or continents or planets or whatever, these different realities that are happening around us, and they give us this, they give us the drawing, the outline, and then we fill it in ourselves. And that's why I think it is really important for us to really focus on what we want for ourselves, not what we fear is going to happen, but what we really want for ourselves. And I've been super, super excited still. That hasn't gone away. I'm super excited. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like everything I look around, I'm just like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. And yesterday or the other day when I was outside and I was doing that work, and I moved some stuff around and moved my furniture so I could start sanding it and staining it and stuff. And so I put it up on this other deck. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I love it here. I want to keep it here. And I want to finish it and stuff. But it's so funny how you can go just do some little things like that, and it can just like make you feel all renewed. Just moving furniture around. Sometimes just taking decorations and moving them around in your house into other rooms, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I love that there. Why didn't I ever see that before? I'm going to put that there. It's weird, but it's it can really give you this excited feeling. But there is definitely the towers turned up. I could hear it so loud this morning when I got up. There was no, like, I had to try and like, okay, what am I hearing here? No, it was loud. It was like crickets, really loud in my ears. And then it always makes you kind of feel dizzy. And I feel so bad for people who don't understand the attack we're under, and they think it's their own body reacting, just like the girl yesterday, you know, that she has the Dovik. It's like, oh, I bet you that there's probably so much going on inside of you, and you're going about it wrong. I wish that, you know, but everybody has their own soul lesson that they're here to learn, you know. Some people's lesson is going to be, you know, I shouldn't have trusted them. But I just have to really get it in my head that just because they transition out of here doesn't mean they're not going to be where we're going. Because I've heard that all along. And I think it's even in the Bible, something about the living and the dead will walk together. Because there is no living or death. It's all a concept. It's all an illusion. This isn't our real life. I've said this for so long, and people don't understand what I'm talking about, but our real life is our dead life. Our real life is where we are when we're not in a body. Going into bodies is playing a role. It's taking a part. It's just going in to play a part with your soul group. So it's not like this is our real life. This is you know, this is like a cell or something to our whole self. This isn't. It's such a small part of who we are in each role that we play. It has really no, I mean, it is an aspect of us. And it's an aspect that is changing because we're here to learn. So we're here to grow. So we're constantly changing and evolving and becoming more. So, you know, whoever you are in this life, whatever role you're playing, is just for that moment in time, because you're constantly changing. There's constant fluctuating it is, all those words aren't right. It is all of this, it's a mastery, but it's an evolution. It's you always becoming something more than you were before. And that's why it's important to direct your energy. Like, you're always going to be moving and changing. So do you want to direct it towards hate, division, anger, bitterness, all that stuff? Do you want to evolve into somebody who, you know, has mastered being a negative person? Or do you want to master forgiveness and acceptance and love and unity? And I think the biggest part behind all of that is understanding that we are here learning. I think once we can accept others for what they're learning, ow, gosh, honey, you're really crushing me. She has a favorite foot she likes to crush too. I swear to God. I'm not going to go get x-rays or anything. I'm going to hold out everything for these med beds. I really want to, you know, on the things that I really see that I can leave, like they've been putting all this pressure on me to come in for you know, for the insurance appointment or whatever. And I don't want to go for that. I don't want to go get any labs. I don't want anything to do with any doctors. I feel like it's all, anybody who is even working, I don't know what is their motivation, but there's so many nurses and doctors leaving. Oh, and another thing too, you know, that Josiah Rises, he's always putting all that stuff with the Hollywood drama and stuff, and, you know, who's getting charged with what. But it was really making me think, and then plus that lady's TikTok yesterday, how many of these people now are suddenly, oh, they got Dovec, oh, they got cancer, oh, they're dying. Like, we have so many celebrities that are dying right now, and it is it kind of makes you think, like, well, are they really dying, or are they being taken to jail? Like, are they being you know, it's hard to say. I mean, there's so much going on, and I'm sure there's a mix of a few different things going on, but I mean, the celebrity thing is definitely one to watch for that change in the current, because they are so involved in because they were used as the spokespeople to direct us, you know. They were part of the plot. I don't know how many of them really knew they were part of the plot, but there had to be some point where they had to know something's up here, and they had to still participate or, you know, exit stage left, because, you know, I mean, those people they've been out to, I'm hearing seduce us. They've been out to seduce us into a certain lifestyle, that's for sure. Pull us in, keep us focused on the material, keep us chasing our tails, you know, keeping people not evolving as themselves, but trying to become something they're not. So all of this stuff has been so complex, and it's not like for each of us we have all those things. Those things are just for all different people. Different people had different focuses, different things that they were attached to. Some people are attached to business. Some people are attached to idolizing. Some people are attached to, you know, throw your mother under a bus so you can get $15,000. I mean, and everybody has a different price of what has value to them. Some people, you know, a small amount of money is a lot. I was watching that chapter the other day, and he's getting just so much more funny and silly. I really like that guy. He, but he was, did something about people who pay to have somebody killed the other day. And one of them was a murder, and it was somebody who they were way overpaying, because he's saying there's like a certain price, and they way overpaid. So the person who took the job to go kill this person decided, well, I've got a lot of money, I could split this with somebody. So he was giving him $200K to go kill this person. And this person was like, well, I could split this and get someone else to do the job. So he split it, and he took 100 and gave this other guy 100. And so that guy who had the 100, then he's like, well, I don't need this much, I could just pay someone else to do it. So then he split it down to 50. Each of them were going to get 50. Then it got split down again, until it got to like 7,000, which is like the going rate for finding a skeezy person to murder somebody for you. And so that's what got him caught. All of the people got busted, and all of them had to go to jail. But the guy on that chapter, he's like, just don't pay extra. You got to just pay the rate. Otherwise, you get way more people involved. I mean, skeezy people are going to be skeezy, that's for sure. But they're here to learn. I mean, yesterday too, I was watching this movie. It was called, I don't think I finished Jack's Apocalypse. I just saw a little bit of it. It probably got interrupted. I pause all the time, and then it's really hard for me to, I watch something for a few minutes, get up and do stuff, watch something for a few minutes. So it's more like when I'm sitting down, I'll just turn something on. And so it was by evening time, and I was like, okay, I just want to watch something and go to bed. Something that just like is calming. So I started watching Marie Antoinette, and I thought, oh, it's so pretty. It's like a period piece thing, and it was so pretty, and the outfits. But when I was watching it, just kept being so sad. So I was like, oh, I got to look up, how sad is this about to get? Because I couldn't remember the whole story with Marie Antoinette, like what happened to her. And I was getting her mixed up in my head with the other one who got burned at the stake. I can't remember who she was. I think she was like somebody who was speaking out against the government, kind of like me. And so, and there's songs about her, but I can't remember who she was. But I'm sure she was burned, but I can't think. But anyways, the Marie Antoinette. So I looked it up. And it was like, oh my God, this girl is supposed to be 14, and she gets married off by her family and all of these royal people. Like even when she met the king of, I think it was the king of France, it was weird because they kept on being like against, she's Austrian, and it seemed like the French people were against other French people. I don't know. I don't know all the history, and I don't even know what history we can believe. I don't really think that there is one thing leading to another. I think there's pockets of time and situations, and then somehow these controllers try and link them so that we think it's all linked together, like we're moving through history. But I don't think it's like that at all. I think it's very different than what they are trying to get us to understand life as. So in this one, and she was, so when I read, she's 14, and I don't know how old her husband was, but he had didn't want to be having sex. It kind of weirded him out. He was kind of just this weird little tiny guy. And and they had Jason Schwartzman playing it. He's just like a strange little guy. But he, so, there was no hanky-panky happening with them. And that is a big thing. Like all these other people were getting married and having kids, but she couldn't even get him to do it. And they were blaming it all on her. And so it was just getting so sad. I had to turn it off. I was like, okay, this is not enjoyable at all. Watching this 14-year-old girl be abused like this and having to take all of this responsibility. And I was like, well, that's what they were learning at the time. They were learning about that. They were learning about, duty and learning about these relationships and stuff. There's been so much toxicity throughout time for us to learn from. I don't think it's linked as they try and tell us it is, but I do think it is real. I think all of these different lessons and classes, I would see it more like the Earth School and these different ages are like a class you can go take. So you can go in and you can take all the classes, you know, that you could fit in to that age and go in and learn from those classes that are offered. Like certain lessons are attached to certain ages. So I think it's more like that. Like souls are like, oh, I want to come in, I want to learn about that, I want to do that. And playing all these different roles. But, you know, and our soul group is much bigger than what I think people think. Like a soul group can be somebody as you are walking through a doorway, like say you're just having a shit day, you're out running errands, everything is going wrong, and you walk up to the store, you're going to run in and get a soda or whatever, and the person opens the door and holds it for you and smiles, and you walk through. That person right there is more than likely someone from your soul group that was always destined to come in and give you that little like upbeat feeling for the day. That's where our soul groups are. People who are there are helping us all the time. It's not just, you know, I think we get caught up in this idea that there's the good guys and the bad guys, and we have bad guys that are out to get us, and good guys, you know, they are there for us, but we don't really know them or have much of a relationship with some of these people. But they have a significant impact on us. Like it could be somebody at your work, and every time you see them, they're like, hey, Jack, how you going? How's it going? How you doing today? You know, and always gives you that kind of connection, kind of grounding you to this place, even when you're having a hard time. And probably a lot of the times when you are having a hard time, you get those kinds of things from other people in your soul group. But the people who we think of as being bad guys are just as loving to us as the people who we think are the good guys. They're just part of the scenario in this situation to teach us some of the hardest lessons. And to me, most of the lessons going through this age has to do with sovereignty, believing in yourself. I swear this tickle thing that won't get out of my chest. And I'll tell ya, doing one puff off of a cigarette is rough. I don't know what the hell you'd think, because I smoke joints, that it wouldn't be that different, that it would kind of be the same. My nose is running. I'm so stopped up. And I know whatever it is that they put in this rain, it just comes nonstop. And then the stuff that they spray beforehand. Yesterday, it was when I was out doing the stuff, and I would pick things up, and they're just all coated with this stuff. I don't even know what it is. Everything is just coated with this. But I think it gives you allergy feeling. But the people who are the bad guys are not here to cause us pain. They're here to get us to remember, to get us to love ourselves, it's like the bad things that turn into good things, you know. It's to help us. Like people who I thought that I was married to, that I thought were, you know, so abusive, and poor me. My whole life I was being abused. I was born to an abuser, and just chose one after another. But really, all of those people were there to teach me to love myself, to have better standards, to set better boundaries for myself. So don't get caught up in the good guy, bad guy, because they're really there to teach you something good. But I do think a lot of the lessons that are going on in this earth plane right now have to do with this, it's an evolution, and we're going into this other time. So it does have to do with us learning to love ourselves, breaking free from this system, and preparing us for this big thing that's to come. Because it sounds like it's a small, you know, like, oh, you know, it's not that big a deal. You know, we're going to have to rebuild the whole world. It's already here mostly, right? But it's not, it's going to be big because we are changing the entire world. We're changing. The age is going to be so different, and there's so much that we have to let go of. It's like people have to, like when you see this used to be something popular, I think, a long time ago. I don't know that I've seen it, so much of it now, but it would be somebody, oh, honey. And they had on some kind of an outfit. And they had to take that one off. And then they had another one on underneath. They had to take that one off. They had another one on underneath. That's kind of what it's like in this system. Everything, you just have to see what part of you is attached so that you can remove it. And then you see, oh, there's another one underneath. I got to remove that. Oh, there's another one underneath. I got to remove that. So it is a process to get to that completely naked, you know, and that's like a rebirth. Going in the rebirth, when you're birthed into this system for the experience, the rebirth is for the new experience. It's for this enlightenment, the path to enlightenment. So you're birthed in and you go through your experience and you expand, you evolve as a person. And then we get into this transition where everything has to come up because we need strong-willed, but also people who love themselves, don't judge each other, and have a bigger picture in mind. And I think the bigger picture is a part of your soul letting you know, like, you are a part of this rebuilding of this. Like when you have this bigger picture. And then there's other ones I think that are really focused on what it is they're supposed to be learning. Some people are in really traumatic situations. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on all over the place where, you know, but everything has to do, like, you are in the place you're supposed to be because you are there to learn the lessons that are supplied for the experience. So there is no accident. Anybody who's going through this really hard stuff, it's because you have a reason. There's something you're learning. Even if it seems like, you know, I'm not learning anything. I'm just living in fear. And that is a big one. That's a big release right there, is living in fear. Because fear is a concept that they sell us to keep us trapped. Like I was saying yesterday, there is something that they do to keep us trapped in fear so that we're feeding these other beings around us. And then they're trading technology or something. So all they got to do is keep us scared. Oh, my nose, it just feels like it's running and running. That they keep us scared so that we're feeding them without even having an awareness of it. But really, what you need to do is realize that there's nothing to be scared of, no matter what they try and scare us with. When you understand you're eternal and they can't really hurt you, it's an illusion. It's all pretend. It's all to create these emotional responses in us, because that is what they use for their energy. Gosh, dang it. I don't know why it keeps running so much. And you have tissues with me on hand. So anyways, I just think everything, no matter if you've got people around you think are treating you bad, calling you crazy, thinking you're stupid, and that you're a conspiracy theorist. I can't believe how there's so much of that still going, where people think it's like things are a conspiracy theory, that they aren't real. But find yourself some group of conspiracy theorists and they're going to tell you, oh, it's all real. It's all 100% real. And that is the cool thing, that no matter what they do, they're just unifying us. They're bringing us together because we're all seen through the bullshit and through the nonsense. And there's always this common island for us to meet, the conspiracy theorist island, where we all can meet and exchange ideas and, you know, come up with solutions, really. And to me, the part of the solutions is our attitude, our awareness, and our challenge to keep ourselves upbeat throughout the thing, and to work on whatever lessons are coming to us, to recognize, like, what am I supposed to be learning here? What is it I'm supposed to see from this? How am I supposed to react? And everything is this way to keep us evolving. But even Even if in your reality, nothing about the new world, nothing about the age of Aquarius, you can't even see it. You can't even understand it. And you don't get frustrated about it. Because remember, whatever you're here to learn is what you're here to learn. So don't worry about the age of Aquarius if you're here to learn about something else. Focus on what you're here to learn about. Because everyone's soul is pulling you into your experience. So if you are going to go through this experience and you're contracted with these other people, and maybe your contract is you're going to transition out because it's going to evolve them so much. But when you transition out, you will, I have heard this for so long, that the people who have been dying for years and years have all just been going to this new world that we're going to be at. But that is the thing, is realities are that close. Like they can be right here sharing space, but when you're vibrating in a different vibration, then you are not in the same place, even if you're in the same place, because of the frequency. So, and once you transition out of this depths of hell here, I had another person, because there's a lot of people who agree with me, like this place is hell, and we have to, I even said the other day, like maybe we all died and we're all in hell, and we have to get our own selves to elevate out of it. We have to do the work to raise our vibration, to pull ourselves free from this low vibration. Otherwise, you just stay in this place that I consider hell. I don't know what you want to call it, but you stay in this place to keep going through the experiences until you get the strength to pull yourself free from it. But it's not like it feels bad. It feels treacherous when you're in it because you are feeling the emotions and stuff, but it's really just lessons. It's just stuff that you're there to learn. Your higher self wouldn't put you into something that, that anything bad could really happen. It feels like things that are bad can happen, but they aren't really happening, even though it feels like they're happening. Because it's just a movie. It's just an illusion. It's a dream. We're all in this dream. We're sharing a dream together. And you can have dreams and dreams and dreams. Like this is really, really trippy when you really, I think it's exciting. I know we're going through a lot of hard times and people are really stressed out and scared, but really it is very exciting and trippy what is being shown to us and how we're being able to see what this place really is. But for so long, I've been hearing that people are transitioning. People who are dying here are going into the new earth. But, who knows? Maybe there's a lot of new earths. Maybe there's a lot of realities that are evolving. Like I said yesterday, that guy who was saying that this is the merge of science and nature. And that was a thing back with Atlantis and Lemuria. There was one that was super spiritual, and I think it was Atlantis that was really technologically advanced, and the Lemurians were very spiritual. And there's something about this, the war and destruction, that we're going full circle here to come back to this time period. You know how I said that everything right now for soul journey is going full circle. We're wrapping loose ends up. We're completing cycles because we're starting a new age. So everything is getting wrapped up. Like you're leaving 6th grade to go into junior high. So everything that you have done through elementary has to, all the loose ends have to be tied up. So everything is completing in this cycle so that we can move into the new cycle. But if people are being led in some other direction, they have to focus on the direction they're being led on, because those are their lessons. Don't get caught up in somebody else's lessons. Don't get caught up in somebody else's experience, because we are all unique. We all have our own very unique, planned out, mapped out experience that we're here to do. But there is this battle with the avatar and the higher self. Like I said a bunch of different times, is the avatars start feeling like they have control over the experience, but you don't. It's all contracted. You can't change it. So there's this battle kind of between higher selves and avatars, over who's in charge. But when they don't really understand that they are an expression of their higher self, that this is all contracted in, there's nothing you can do to change it. But that's why they stay so frustrated. They're trying to control the experience, but the experience is already set. You're here for this certain experience. It's already designed. You're not just birthed into, this do whatever you want situation. It's not like that. It is very defined. And the more you tune into your soul, your higher self, the more you do that connection and focus on that, the more you will understand your own process, what you're here to learn and what you're supposed to be doing. But, I just don't want anybody to get all caught up in like, oh, I don't see anything about the new age or the new earth. Maybe I'm not going there. You will go wherever you want to go. I mean, it just feels like a trap right now, like you don't have control, but you do have control, and you can go wherever you want. When you transition out of this, when you leave this body, this avatar, you are free-wheeling spirit. You get to go wherever you want. You can, and you are a lot higher in your frequency. You're a lot higher evolved being than you feel like you are here. So you have a lot more mastery than you have understanding of in this present situation. So when you get to there, you can go wherever you want to go. If you're like, well, my family's all at this place in this new earth, I'm going there. So don't be scared if it is, that you're supposed to transition with a big crowd of people, because that's going to be happening. There's going to be big crowds of people leaving together, which I think is kind of really a beautiful thing. That when I had heard that Columbine, I had heard there was these couple of women. I've talked about them before, and one of them I haven't seen, and I really did like her show because she really did seem to know about spiritual stuff. So she was always asking really good questions. And both of the women, they had a son that had died young. And the son started trying to communicate with them from the other side and started going and showing up with other people, the relatives, and all sorts of stuff. So both women started using a medium to contact and have these conversations with their kid. And both of their kids started bringing other people who had already passed in to also be interviewed. And they were bringing like famous people. And one of them is Eric. And he, to me, I think he goes around and communicates with a lot of people. He's got some job in this transition part, like he's a greeter that helps you when you transition. He's one of the people who's there to help you figure out like what's going on, because most people when they transition, they're just confused, because I'm telling you, you don't feel any different, and it's very confusing when you feel exactly the same but everything else is different. It's like, what is going on? And a lot of people get really confused. So he's one of those people. The other one, I'm not sure, but he was bringing all sorts of people in to be interviewed, and she was asking really cool questions. The Eric's mom, she's not as spiritual. She doesn't really, I don't even know what her deal is about God, or like, she was a doctor, so she's probably kind of science minded, and she talks about that her parents were super abusive, and so he also brings all sorts of people. She's got all sorts of interviews, and you can believe in channeling or not believe in channeling. I obviously believe in channeling since, I do it all the time. So she is, because you just know, when you start listening, you'll start hearing. But it's very much, I say it like it's easy, but I know that it's hard for some people, because you got to listen through a lot of noise to start really hearing, and you'll doubt. You'll be like, oh, that's just me. That's just me thinking. So you have to come up with your own way of figuring it out. What is your communication? And like I said, I think asking questions is a good way to start. As I know, that's how mine started. Was I was talking to him. I was asking questions. So, anyways, in this one that this guy, he was talking about they were interviewing those one of the Columbine guys. I think his name was it started with a D, I think. I can't think of his name now, but he was being interviewed, and he was talking. He said that when he I guess he was super depressed. See, this is where souls come in to learn stuff. But when he killed himself and he came out of his body, all of the people he had, it gets me so emotional about this because it is so real. This is really what we are like. We get caught up in this place and we're mean to each other, but it's not. It's not who we really are. It's just what this place brings out in people. It brings out a lot of hatred and bitterness and meanness, but it's up to us to evolve past that. It's up to us to connect with our higher selves and to our Creator and know, in our hearts what's real. But when he died, all the people he just shot were standing there waiting for him. And they weren't waiting to be mean. They were waiting to transition with him and give him forgiveness. Because they knew he was going to have a hard time when he transitioned. Because of what he just did. And when you do stuff that's really bad, you feel the pain. The pain is so big. And that is why I say when you go to your life review, there's so much impact that happens. And then you have this added frustration. You can't come back and fix it. And you have, that's why people are always trying to help you from the other side. You got great grandparents that are there still trying to fix the things that they did. We're all a product of our ancestry. What happens, it sets patterns in our lineage. And so we have people on the other side who were there trying to help us overcome obstacles that they couldn't see when they were in life because they were limited by their emotions. But then once they pass over and transition in that impact of your life review, and seeing what you've really done, and you wanted to go in and fix it. So many people, I mean, they can get birthed back in, but all of your stuff is about soul contracts and stuff. So, it's not like, I don't think you just go in and then you see your life review and you're just like, oh, put me back in, boss, I can do better. I don't think it's like that, because you have to have contracts. It's like a scripted event to be here. Like it's a whole set thing. So, even when you see like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. Oh my God, look at how I affected these people. Then you have to go still make the whole plan of the life. There's a lot of stuff that, like, you have to let go of some of that stuff when I think it's very, very difficult. But I just thought that was so beautiful that all those souls were standing there waiting for him. So when he came, they could go take him and show forgiveness. And I just think that, there's so much where they just keep us against each other because it's part of their plan. We're not paying attention to what they're doing when we're just fighting with each other all the time. But we have to each individually take responsibility for that and be like, well, that doesn't really matter. Why am I fighting with you? Why do I care? Why do I care what you do with your time? Why do I care what's going on for you in your life? That's your business. It's not mine. It's not my business to judge you. I've got my own stuff going on. You know what I mean? We have to get more to that. We have to get more to this evolved beings dealing with each other. And that's what's going to be the new earth. And that's what we're learning through this period of time, is about how to accept and let go of things and see, and so many of us, like for me, I had to see how much I was really learning so that I could see, well, everybody's learning this stuff. I don't have to feel shame. I don't have to feel shame. I was a relationship junkie. I was just learning. I was learning how important it is to love yourself. You can't go outside of yourself looking for someone to love you. You will never feel love if you don't love yourself. You are an empty vessel. When they used to say about the glass half full and half empty, I didn't really get it. But then once you go through it, then you're like, oh, I get it now. Now I completely get it. When you are an empty glass, you cannot be filled by somebody else. When you're full of yourself, and not full of yourself in an egotistical dickhead kind of way, but full of yourself with just love and acceptance. Like, I love you, Kelly. I accept you. You could do and say stupid things, but that's just who you are. I accept that in myself. And, and plus you just start realizing that it's everybody's perception. Everybody's perceiving you in a different way. And so, it's a beautiful thing when you can just go out and be you, be authentic, be yourself, and to just know, like, this is who I am right here, right now. This is who I am with what I know. And be free with that. And don't worry about who likes you and who doesn't like you. There's going to be a mix. And it's especially right now, while so many people themselves are evolving, just stay true to yourself and set yourself free and just walk your walk. And everybody will catch up. Everybody's just got a lot to go through right now. But everybody who's supposed to catch up is going to catch up, because not everybody is here to seed this new reality. Some people are here to teach and show the lessons that we need to, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be there. There's going to be, it's going to grow just like it has here. Souls will be born. Lots of souls will come in, and the new earth will be a beautiful place to come in and have experiences. And especially, because we're going to live much longer, and and when we start having more control over the physical reality instead of them controlling it, because I know it's something weird. There's something weird about this control of the reality and why they try and focus our consciousness in certain scenarios. And, but when we get to that point, I think it's just going to be so huge. I think the new earth is going to probably be so much bigger than what we can even imagine. So I think we're headed to beautiful times. Don't get scared. Don't live in fear. Don't hold on to resentment and anger. Just heal your stuff and, love thy neighbor. That is an important thing. Ooh, and speaking of neighbors, they've put up all of this stuff against their fence, like they built a new wood thing, and it gives me so much privacy. I feel like I'm getting so much more privacy from other people building their stuff. Like, I don't have to go through and build all that. So I have great appreciation for that. So anyways, that's just stuff to think about. And, that's all we can do is just keep trying and trying to figure it out. And I think it's fun. There's definitely some challenges happening, but it is fun. And don't be scared. Don't live in fear. And just know everything's going to turn out great. We're just at this rocky situation that's happening. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.